Today we will be talking about indexes. For this video, I will be explaining the first three rules that we are going to play with in this topic over here. Now, of course, eventually there are going to be more rules involving indexes, but I want to focus on the three main rules first. Now, before I write down what's the first rule, let's build up to it first. Now, let's just say I have a question over here. All right. 2 multiplied with 10 to the power of 3. Now take a look at this standard form over here. If I were to multiply two numbers, right, not surprising, I should get a big answer, right? So of course, in this case, I will get 2000. Now, however, I can also write my question like this. 2 multiply 10 to the power of negative 3. Now take a look at the top question and the bottom one. Both of them have it's a multiplication operation. So when we are multiplying a number, we should expect we will get a bigger number, right? But however, this one is different. Okay, we have learned this in standard form before. When we are multiplying 10 to the power of negative 3, we know that the power is minus 3. So we should go backwards. So finally, the answer should be 0.002. Alright, so take a look at this. Does it look a bit weird for you? Like we are multiplying a number, but you notice over here, my number gets smaller, right? Now why is that? Now these have to do with this power over here. Okay? Now what is actually happening here, it's a division. What I have wrote here, it's actually an alternative way, to write your division operation. Okay? This is just another alternative way to write a division operation. Now these will build up to our first important rule in indexes. So I will write the first rule over here as such. So I can write as if I have a number, and this number, it's going to be power of a negative power, it doesn't matter, we can actually rewrite this as a fraction, and how do we rewrite this? We're going to be writing 1 over, and then we will follow back a power of n. Okay, this is the first rule in indexes, which is very important. Again, if I have a number, power of a negative power, I can rewrite this as a fraction. Okay, now let me show to you, based on this first rule, how is this operation is actually a division. Okay, so I'm just going to write here. So at first, I have 2 multiply 10 to the power of negative 3, Now, I'm going to change this, I'm going to apply the first rule to this, and I would like you to see what happened over here. Now, I'm doing nothing with the 2 yet, so I'm just going to write 2 down. Multiply 10 to the power of negative 3, it is a number, power of a negative power. I can rewrite this as a fraction. So I'm going to rewrite this as 1, it's going to be always 1 on top over here. It's not going to be 2, it's not going to be 3, it's always going to be 1, 1 over here. The A is the same, so which means the 10 over here is the same, Nothing have changed, The A over here and the A over here is the same, the fraction denominator. So if I have 10 over here, so my denominator will be the 10 as well. The next thing is you have to notice is that the power, in this case, is a negative 3. So if it's a negative power, when you bring this down to the denominator, it will become a positive power. So in this case, it will be 10 to the power of 3, So what can we do next over here? We can just multiply this fraction in and expand this. So multiply in, we will get 2 over 10 to the power of 3. We will get 1000, right? So can you see what happened from this step to this step over here? From a multiplication operation, it becomes a division. Why? It is because of this over here, all right? So if I were to write an operation, which I have a number, power of a negative power, okay, it means it is an alternative way to write our division operation. So over here, we can just quickly solve it, all right? So we should get 0.002, okay? And that is our answer, right? So over here, this is the proof, all right? This is the proof that, okay, this operation here is actually a division, all right? Now, another example. Let me give you another example to play with the first rule. Now again, over here, let me give another example. Now let's just say over here I have 2 to the power of negative 3, right? And my question is, I would want you to rewrite this, all right, as a fraction, all right? So what can you do? Always when you see there's a number, power of a negative power, always remember back the first rule, right? Always remember back the first rule, okay? So yeah, we are just going to apply that, okay? Right? So what's going to happen? Now I'm going to write the first rule over here so you can compare the question and the formula directly. Yeah? So I have a power of negative n, and that will be equal to 1 over a n, right? So I'm going to do the same thing for this one, right? So over here, I have my a, which is my 2 over here. I have my negative n, which is negative 3 over here. And based on my first rule over here, I can rewrite this as a fraction. So I will write it as, again, we will follow back 1, okay? Okay, that will be 1 over, okay, a, it's this one, all right? So if it's 2 over here, when we move down to the denominator, it will still be 2, all right? And then here is a negative n, and when you move down to a denominator, it will become a positive. So if I have a negative 3 here, okay, it will become a positive now in the denominator, okay? So we have directly changed this into a fraction, but we are not done yet, okay? 2 power of 3, we can do something with this, right? We can expand this. So finally, your final answer, it will be written as 1 over 8, right? This is how we rewrite this as a fraction, okay? Now another example over here. So let's just say I have 3 power of negative 2, okay? So we can use back the same rule over here, all right? Whenever you see there's a number, power of a negative power, okay, always apply back the first rule. So let's check what happened. So again, we can rewrite this as a fraction by following the first rule. So I should get 1 over 3 squared, right? Okay, so just applying the first formula only. And then we can still expand this, right? So by right, I should get 1 over 9. All right, that is my answer. Okay? Now, knowing how to do this is not enough. Okay, if we, all right, what we have done just now, we have did from this part to this part. Now, if we can do from left to right, we should be able to do the opposite way as well, right? So we should be able to do from this part back to here. Okay, so how are we going to do that? Now, next example over here, I'm going to use back the same question so you all can compare it directly. Yeah? Okay. So what I did just now over here, it's a negative power to a fraction, right? Now I'm going to do the opposite way over here, all right, which is going to be, okay, which is going to be a fraction, okay? Okay, I'm just going to write here like this better, okay? I'm going to rewrite this in the form of this. So my question is, I want to write, okay? Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay, this is how I will want to write my answer. Okay. Write your answer in the form of 2n, all right, which is going to be in this form, where my n is going to be an integer, so it's either can be a positive number or a negative number. So let's look back the same question over here. Now, I'm going to write this down. My question is, I have 1 over 8, and I would like to change this back to this one, all right? So what's the step? Okay, what's the step over here? Now let's take a look. From a fraction, I want to change it to this form over here, right? To this form over here, okay? And in my question, I would like to change it to 2 power of n. I will want to change it to 2 power of n, okay? So what should I do over here? Now again, I'm going to write down the formula side by side so you all can compare it, so you all can, hopefully you all can see clearly what's going on over here. So I have my 1 over a power of n is equals to a power of negative n, right? Okay. So I am going to do this right now. Okay, I'm going to do this right now. So I want you to take a notice over here. Okay, from a fraction to a negative power, what should I do? This a over here and this a over here, do you all notice is actually the same thing? All right. Okay, it's actually the same thing. So since I want my answer over here, all right, I want my answer over here to be 2, right? To be 2, right? So we know that this a over here must be 2. If this is over here is 2, this must be 2 as well, right? Then the next thing is you have to use your basic mathematical knowledge and ask yourself, originally, this is 8, all right? So 2 power of something must be 8. So try to ask yourself, what can I take and I raise it to the power of 1, I will get 8. So in this case, it should be 3. I should take 2 raised to the power of 3 and I should get 8, right? Okay? So I am done with this already. Okay? So all I have to do now is from this fraction, I need to change it back to this form over here. Okay? So to change it, all right? So we can see over here, all right, originally this was a to the power of negative n, right? So this thing, you just have to just switch it up only. Okay? So it will become, all right, 2, okay? This is going to be 2 as well. So it's going to become 2. And the power is a positive power. When you raise it up, okay, it becomes a non-fraction anymore. The power is going to be negative. Okay? All right, so that is what is happening over here. Now, let's try to look at another example over here. Now, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna continue use back the same question. Now let's just say I have, all right, I want to have this, I have 1 over 60, okay? And I want to change it to this form over here, right? 2 to the power of negative n, right? A negative power, okay? So I want to change it to 2 to the power of n, where n is my integer, because in this case, we're interested in the negative power. So what can we do over here? So same thing, since you know this is 2, so this guy over here, you must change it to 2, right? So let's do that first. So 1 over this one, I will change it to 2. Why do I do that? It's because I want my answer in this form. Okay? All right, I want my answer in that form. So I will write 2, and then ask yourself, 2, I need to raise to the power of what? I will get 16. So in this case, it will be 4, right? 2 power of 4 is equivalent to 16. Now all I need to do now is to bring this up, and so it will become this again. So I can rewrite this as 2 to the power of negative 4. All right? So this is the first rule of indexes, which is very important, all right? Very important. So make sure you get yourself familiarized with the first rule first.